Common everyday phrases, basic phrases. Okay. Nasana, be careful. Nasana. So this one you can use with just about anything. You could be like, hey, Nasana, be careful. Maybe somebody's climbing on something. Maybe somebody's messing with something sharp. Nasana. Nasana. Nukshe ebmoseyin. Look where you're walking. Nukshe ebmoseyin. That nukshe, both nasana and nukshe are not verbs. They're just kind of expressions or particles, if you will. Nukshe is just kind of gets somebody's attention. It's like, hey, hey, like, look, nukshe. And so you're like, nukshe. And traditionally, we didn't do a lot of pointing with our fingers. Point with your fingers is considered rude. So a lot of times when we point, we'd point with our lips. So, nukshe, 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 nukshe. So nukshe ebmoseyin. Look where you're walking. Nukshe ebmoseyin. So then again, just like I said, nukshe by itself, that's just look. Nukshe. Nasana gjidenon. Be careful, those are hot. Nasana gjidenon. Now you'll notice that's not gajate. Gajate indicates something hot from the sun. Like when you say it's hot outside, it's gajatem get. But if you're talking about something is hot, whether it be the stove or maybe a plate or food, it's gajide. And that non there is saying that they are hot. So nasana gajide non. Be careful, those are hot. Nasana gajide non. Nasana nizanet ikoman. Nasana nizanet ikoman. Be careful, that knife is dangerous. Nasana nizanet ikoman. So koman is a knife, koman. Nizanet means it's dangerous. And then nasana again is just be careful. Nasana nizanet ikoman. Nukshe nagine biage. Nukshe nagine biage. Look at what I wrote. Nukshe nagi nebiage. Nebiage is just a VAI verb, a basic verb. The N is saying I, the gi is the past tense of something that already happened. So I did write nukshe. Look at what I wrote. Nukshe nagi nebiage. Nukshe nagi nebiage. And hopefully you'll repeat these with me as we go through. The more times you repeat these words, the easier it becomes for you both to vocalize them, but it also becomes easier to remember them. So if you're repeating these words at your desk or whatnot, that's a really positive thing. And it's going to help you really register these words and remember these words that way. So, nukshe nagi wijiton. Nukshe nagi wijiton. Look at what I made. Nukshe nagi wijiton. Look at what I made. Nukshe nagi wijiton. Again, the n part is me. The gi is the past. Jeton is to make something with jeton. So nukshe nagi with jeton. Look at what I made. Nasana joshkwa noni miawan. Nasana joshkwa noni miawan. Be careful, the roads are slick. Nasana joshkwa noni miawan. So joshkwa means it is slick. Again, that known is they are slick. Ni is your demonstrative for those. Meow is a road, meowin, roads. Nasana joshkwa noni meowin. Nasana mbishkia I mchesuk. Nasana mbishkia I mchesuk. Be careful, the floor is wet. Nasana mbishkia I mchesuk. So mbishkia means it is wet. That mchesuk is your floor. Nasana, be careful. E, that I, which sounds like an E, that means that floor. Nasana o dabian. Be careful of that car. Nasana o dabian. So be careful. Nasana o dabian. That car. Car is animate in Potawatomi, so o, that animate thing. Dabian, car. Nasana o dabian. Nasana gi batakshkwa o dabian. Nasana gega gi batakshkwa o dabian. Be careful, you almost bumped that car. Nasana gega gi batakshkwa o dabian. Batakshkwa is to accidentally bump into something or to hit something. The dabian means car. O dabian, that animate thing, that car. Gega, or sometimes you'll hear gaga, it can mean soon, but it can also mean almost. In this sense, it means almost. Gega gi batakshkwa o dabian. You almost bumped that car. Nasana, be careful. Manomagwet. It smells good. Manomagwet. That mano always usually indicates something good. You know, manopmadzoin, good life, good health. Manotagwet sounds good. Manomagwet, it smells good. Manomagwet. The magwet part is like it smells a certain way. Basmiagwet, that stinks. Basmiagwet. Basmiagwet, it stinks. And then manomagwet, it smells good. Again, if you guys repeat these words with me, it'll help you in the long run. It'll be easier to remember these words. Manomagwedoni pakwejgasen. Those cookies smell good. Now here, when you have more than one, instead of known, because it ends in T, it goes to don, and it kind of slides over. Manomagwedoni pakwejgasen. Manomagwedoni pakwejgasen. Manopquet. Manopquet. It tastes good. Manopquet. Gimanopquetne. Gimanopquetne. Did it taste good? Gimanopquetne. So now you've taken that manopquet and you've made it into a question. That gi indicates something that's already happened or it's in the past. So did it? Manopquet, it tastes good. And then the ne is saying question. Gimanopquetne. Did it taste good? And I see I'm missing a P on my slide, which I'll fix. Gimanopquetne. Pokonya wisnoen gimanopquet. Pokonya wisnoen gimanopquet. Dinner tasted good. Pokonya wisnoen gimanopquet. So pokonya, the evening, wisnoen food, evening food or dinner, gi, did, manopquet, tastes good. Pokonya wisnoen gimanopquet. Gedimanozekwe. Gedimanozekwe. You are a good cook. Gedimanozekwe. There's your mano again. Pretty much anytime you see a mano as part of a verb, it's going to indicate something good. Manozekwe is a good cook. He or she is. And then we put the good on there, you're saying you're a good cook. Gedimanozekwe. Gedimanozekwe. Basmagwaze. Basmagwaze. He or she stinks. Basmagwaze. Maybe they just got done with gym and they haven't showered, or maybe they haven't showered in a few days, or maybe they bogated. So basmiagwaze, he or she stinks. Basmiagwaze. When need you bogat? When need you bogat? Who farted? When need you bogat? Guagmagwet ipaquejgun. Guagmagwet ipaquejgun. That bread smells moldy. That guag part on the front is the part that indicates that it's moldy. Guagmagwet, the magwet again is the way it smells. So guagmagwet ipaquejgun. That bread smells moldy. Guagmagwet ipaquejgun. Gabuktane. Gabuktane. Are you hungry? Gabuktane. And this is a pretty common phrase that you really want to have kind of in your repertoire. We're often having meals or eating at different events, and this is something you can use every single day, or you can at least think about each day. Gabuktane. Gabuktane. Are you hungry? Gabuktane. Now remember that nay, when you have those nay, it's a yes-no type question. This is not a when did you eat or why are you hungry, or this is not a more complicated question. It's a simple question. So a lot of times you're just going to get a yes-no response. The nice thing about that is a lot of times you can almost regurgitate the sentence back at somebody. You can say, konige mbukte, or you can use that m on there or an in. Konige mbukte, konige mbukte. The thing is, a lot of these verbs that have P's or B's, they tend to take more of an M sound to the I instead of that in. But you could still use an in, and it's not going to be seen as incorrect. Chombukte, see, I'm not hungry. Chombukte, see. Or like I said, konige mbakte. Yes, I'm hungry. Konige mbakte. So konige is one way to say yes, or you can say or konige mbakte. Now, I understand if somebody asks you this, you may just simply say yes, no. But we do it in full sentences here so you can kind of see the whole sentence. You could just say konige or cho. Chombakte si, I'm not hungry. Chombakte si. With this, you have a negative statement, okay? So when you have a negative statement, you usually are going to have that cho and that si attached to the verb. Chombakte si. Nagonandum, nagonandum, I'm starving. Nagonandum, I am starving. Nagonandum. Nagioshquanandum, nagioshquanandum, I am dizzy from hunger. Nagioshquanandum. That gioshque by itself indicates dizzy. So if you say nagioshque, it means I'm dizzy. The nandum indicates that it's the hunger that's making you dizzy. And you'll see this little ending, this nandum, used with other words. You could say like, talking about diabetes or going a certain amount of time without eating, you could say jib nandum. So like stretching the amount of time you go without eating, like fasting basically. But that gio indicates kind of like going around like this. Gioshque or gionadze means he or she is crazy. It's kind of like their mind's just kind of spinning around gionadze. But when you're dizzy, you're kind of like that too. You're kind of down, Nagioshque nandum, dizzy from hunger. Nagioshque nandum. Nektosha nadamwa, nektosha nadamwa. I could eat a horse. Nektosha nadamwa. This literally means I could eat a horse. Just kind of a silly expression there. You can say, if somebody said something about being hungry, just say nektosha nadamwa. I could eat a horse. Nektosha nadamwa. The mwa means to eat something animate. There are some foods that are considered animate in Potawatomi, like panik, potatoes, or damen, corn, kojes, beans. Kojes, more than one bean. But if it's animate, instead of using mijin to talk about eating something in particular, you use mwa. So nektosha nada mwa. I could eat a horse. Bagaji, bagaji. Always a good answer. Bagaji, a little bit. And that bagaji can be used in so many different ways. Somebody could be like, hey, shonya negadeton, you got any money? Bagaji, a little bit. Or, gosh, can I bagway now? Are you thirsty? Bagaji, a little bit. Nagigi shwisen, nagigi shwisen. I already ate. Nagigi shwisen. The N on the front, that's the I. The gi is saying that it already happened in the past. That gish means afterwards, or it's already. So in this sense, I've already eaten. And wisen is the verb to just eat when you're not talking about the particular food. Nagi gish wisen, I already ate. Nagi gish wisen. You see that gish on other words too, like gish now kwe, afternoon. Again, it's afternoon. Now kwe is noon. Gish now kwe is afternoon. So, and you can use that gish on other verbs, like if you want to say I already worked. Nagigishmikchwi, I already worked. So that can be used in that way. Now kwe wisnuan nagi zam wisen. Now kwe wisnuan nagi zam wisen. I ate too much at lunch. Now kwe wisnuan nagi zam wisen. So now kwe is noon, wisnuan food, so that noon food is your lunch. Nagi, I did. Zam means too much of something, and then wisen is your verb to eat. So I did eat too much at lunch. Now kwe wisnoan nagi zam wisen. And just like that gish, that zam is a preverb too, and could be added to different verbs. Like you could say, I worked too much. Nagi zam mikchui, I worked too much, or I ate too much, I drank too much. Nagi zam manakwe, I drank too much. So that zam can be used to indicate too much of something. Maybe zamate means like too much sun, like it's unbearable. Zamate. So you see that zam. Okay, the last slide here. Nijagomzagich. Nijagomzagich. How is the day outside? This is one way to talk about the weather. We don't really have a true word for weather in Potawatomi. You could say like Nija Eja Webuk Zagich, what's happening outside? Nijagomzagich, how is today? outside. Nija ejgijguk, how is the day? Lots of ways to indicate what the weather's doing. But Nija gomzagich, how is today outside? How's the weather? Nija gomzagich. Gamoen, which is true for today. Gamoen, it's raining. Gamoen. And I always like to make this cheesy joke, so I'm going to do it again. If it starts to rain, you got to get gamoen. Because once it rains, your grass really starts growing. So you got to get gamoen. Got to get mowing. Gamoen, it's raining. Gamoen. Gamoen ne. Gamoen ne. Is it raining? Gamoen ne. Or maybe you want to say Gamoen ne megwa. Is it still raining? Gamoen ne megwa. Is it still raining? But Gamoen ne. Is it raining? Zig bisam get. It's a downpour. Zig bisam get. It's a downpour. That zig indicates like a pouring. That b is water. So it's a downpour. Zig bisam get. Minogij get. It's a nice day. Minogij get. Minogij get. Wedjagam get e bakwan. Wedjagam get e bakwan. That roof is leaking. Wedjagam get e bakwan. That roof is leaking. That's not good if it's raining. Jigwek yam get. It's thundering. Jigwek yam get. It is thundering. Waseyam get. It is bright. Waseyam get. It is bright. Kasenyam get. It is cold. Kasenyam get. It is cold. Now remember earlier we had gajide known. They are hot with the verb gajide. That gajate indicates that the sun is actually causing that heat. That ate, that's kind of inside of that word, that ate, that indicates that the sun is making it that way. Gajatem get, so it's hot from the sun. So for example, if you go to your house and you didn't have the air on, it's been a hot day, and your house is hot, that would be gajatem get. Now, if you turn the heater on, maybe in your office or your classroom or in your room, and then it's hot, well, that's gajidam get, it's hot. Or you turn the stove on, it's gajidam get, it's hot, because it's not the sun that's causing that. But if you go out to your car, you know, it's been a real hot day, and it's real hot inside, well, that's still gajatem get, even though it's inside the car, because the sun caused that. Gajatem get. And then kasenyam get, it's cold, kasenyam get. But just like kasenyam get, you don't use that for like it's cold like a drink, or it's cold like the air conditioning maybe is running, it's cold. When you're inside, it's tekedam get. Tekedam get would be like it's cold, but maybe like the air is causing it. Kasenyam get is weather related. The other thing about these weather ones is they're singular. There's never gonna be a plural. It's never gonna be hots or colds. You know, it's where you're at is cold, or it's cold here, it's cold there, but it's not gonna be colds. So you're never gonna have a plural of gajate. It's gonna be gajate or gajatem get. And anytime you have that maget on there, it's usually an option. You can say gajate by itself to just indicate hot, or you can throw the maget on. Gajatem get, it's hot. Same with kasenyam get. You can just say kasenya, or you can say kasenyam get, it is cold. So hopefully you guys picked a little something out of some of these, or you recognize some of these from some previous lessons. I just wanted to give you guys some general type vocabulary, kind of stuff that you hear every day, but also, you know, when it's gishpen ga kedyan ni kedwinen ga gish kedyan. Hopefully it'd be good if you guys said those words after I said them. Hopefully you did that, because part of learning a language, and especially with Potawatomi, because some of the sounds are so kind of different from English, you really have to work on kind of getting your mouth used to saying those words. So the more times that you can vocalize those words afterwards, the easier it becomes to say those words and to kind of remember those words. In fact, I think I'm going to record some audio for this activity, for this lesson, that gives you where you can listen to just the audio that's just being uploaded. You can just listen to the words and kind of practice them if you want on some of these more common ones like gamoen. I may pick 5 or 10 of them out of this PowerPoint, but I would look for those to be possibly on the quiz. So be aware that if I pick them out of there, it's a good chance they're going to be on the quiz. So maybe pay attention to them, maybe listen to a couple of them. Be a smart idea. So, aha, bama minam.